Hello, beautiful, wonderful people.
Beautiful? Wonderful? People? I think you got the wrong channel, mate. Only kind of people allowed here are terrible people. The best kind of people. Some of them even come onto my streams. Insert clumsy promotion here. What do you mean I'm not supposed to read that? You can't tell me what to do. You're just a fictional construct for the sake of humour and advertisement. Prick.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is M, and today I'm going to answer the question.
Hi M, how are you doing? Strange being named after a letter like that, but hey, I'm not one to judge. Let's get on with this thing, shall we?
How do crystals work?
So, what you do is, you put them on a surface, as in a cupboard or a shelf, and you go, ooh, look at the shiny crystal. Then you never think about it again. Or, if you're the owner of a woo store, you charge an absurd amount of money for this essentially useless, worthless thing, while laughing all the way to the bank.
I hope that by doing this, everyone can gain a deeper understanding of crystals and how they can be used as healing tools.
Oh, you've got some crystal healing for us. So it's not just, her der, ain't that purty, but her der, this cures cancer. Well, isn't this going to be fun?
Let's get into it. So crystals have been used since the dawn of civilization.
Remember folks, ancient civilization equals right about everything, most technologically advanced, and greatest healthcare. That's why they're all still around.
The ancient Sumerians used them as divination tools, and the ancient Egyptians used them to increase their vitality and sex appeal.
Well, I don't know about you, but I have always been extremely attracted to mummies. I mean, look at that. Whoa, you can't tell me that's not the height of sex appeal. I mean, they're dead humans. Nothing hotter than that.
The ancient Greeks used crystals so heavily that many of the crystals we know today have names that are Greek in origin.
Wow, assuming that's correct, that is a really good point. It's not like they were one of the most influential cultures whose language heavily inspired Latin that is the root of many Western languages, including the language you are kind of speaking. So there are flipping loads of words that carried on down the ages or anything like that. No, it couldn't be that. And hell, even if these were the only words that continued down the ages, well, wouldn't that mean that we had perhaps collectively decided they didn't work and thus never updated the words for them?
For example, amethyst, which is a known sobriety and temperance stone, actually means not drunken because it was used in ancient Greece to prevent over-intoxication.
And I bet it totally worked. Let's try it, shall we? I'm totally sober, officer. Again, I'm totally officer sober. The system works!
We have found evidence of crystal use all over the world. In India, in China, in New Zealand, in South America, in Mexico, even in the early Americas with Native American cultures such as the Hopi and the Hawaiian Islanders.
See, it's almost like in ancient times, uneducated people saw shiny rocks and thought, wow, this must be magic. And wouldn't you know it, nothing's changed.
All of these traditions have some recognition of crystals and their healing properties.
And I'm sure many cultures thought the Earth was the centre of the universe, or that the world itself stretched no further than their local sea. Ancient cultures all over the world believed lots of the same stupid crap. They believed lots of different stupid crap too. Neither of these lines of reasoning means anything when we can test what works and know for sure. That's why we know crystals don't do shit.
But how did they use them and why?
I'm going to go with poorly stroke pointlessly, and because they were the dumb. And hey, I'm not saying it was ancient people's fault that they were ignorant. Just that if I was back then, with the same access to education and technology of the time, with none of the knowledge that I have today, I would have been flying around in a dark matter-powered space submarine within a week.
Stick with me. Modern-day crystal healing is a mix of all of these traditions, but relies really heavily on the concept of qi, the Chinese concept of qi.
I love that hand motion because it just screams woo to me. It's the exact kind of motion I use when explaining woo to someone who's never heard the term before. You know, it makes you go, woo.
And the Hindu Buddhism concept of the chakras.
So it mixes a bunch of wrong stuff and two particular wrong things to make a big bucket of wrong. Gotcha!
Qi, meaning life force, is the energy that flows through all living things. The energy that flows in through your breath and fills your cells. The energy that makes you alive.
So qi is oxygen? But oxygen isn't energy, food is. Don't get me wrong, it's part of the energy production process, but oxygen itself is in no way an energy source for people. I mean, you try not eating for a week and see how energetic you feel, unless you're a breatharian. Then you'll be fine, because we all know you're sneaking snacks, you crafty little bastards.
The chakras, meaning wheel, are energy centers on your body, and you have 7 main ones. Each of them corresponds with a color, a frequency, an organ, and so much more.
Well, isn't that the most scientific diagram you ever did see? Especially the love hearts. Also, apparently, one of the chakras is literally outside of your body. So I'm not entirely sure how that works. Can it travel independently of the body? Or is it stuck there like the crystal thing out of The Sims? Of course, crystal. It's all coming together. Shabba-da-ba!
I could talk about chakras forever. If you want me to do an in-depth video on chakras,
please don't. There's only so much I can take before my brain dribbles out of my ear.
Stay tuned, because I was probably going to do that anyway.
Oh, good.
So energy is flowing through all living things. I have energy, you have energy.
I barely have the energy to get up in the morning most days, but that is mostly due to the crushing sense of meaninglessness brought on by the existence of non-terrible people. They are the worst.
It's everywhere. And because we are made of matter, and because matter is made of atomic particles that are organized in a lattice structure, when this energy passes through us, we emit a frequency or a vibration.
Okay, wow. That was actually the most in-depth explanation of how this kind of thing works. Seriously, usually it's just, it just does, or God did it. Now, it's still complete nonsense, but I'm still giving you an E for effort.
So just as color and sound are frequencies, we also have frequencies.
Huh. Well, that's cool if true. I wonder what's on my frequency. Damn right.
Coming out of us all the time. And you don't really see it, and you don't really hear it.
Feel it, smell it, taste it. In fact, in no way, shape or form is it detectable as described here. But it's totally real, guys. I read it in a book, on the internet, in a dream.
But you can feel it. And that's how you feel somebody's vibe. When somebody has a good vibe about them, you don't really know what it is, but you can just tell. They have good energy.
No, human beings have body language. That's how you can tell things about a person without them having to say a word. We pretty much all can read body language, even if only subconsciously for most people. Your conscious mind just gives you a weird feeling about someone that you can't explain. Like the guy that has been staring intently at you when you aren't directly facing him and keeps sticking his hand very deep into his pocket. Or when I'm talking to someone and I'm like, I don't know why, but I think there might be something wrong with this person. 'Cause they are, well, you.
It's an intuitive thing.
Yes, it is, but not the intuitive thing that you think it is. Because you can get the exact same feelings watching a video of someone, unless you're going to tell me that these vibes can be picked up and transmitted via video, and yet somehow not detectable and measurable by the science.
Now, as humans, we are fluid, we're dynamic, we are always changing, and so is our energy.
I don't know, man, most humans are all the same squishy, useless little gits from the cradle to the grave, each of them as unremarkable as the last. Not sure why I keep them around, if I'm honest. Oh yeah, that.
Our energies and our vibrations shift and they change depending on what we think and how we feel and what we're around, and on so many things, on everything really.
So basically, vibrations and energy, those are just feelings, aren't they? That's what you're talking about. You think that feelings are at all related to energy, and I mean, you could say we feel heat, and I don't know, a slap in the face is kinetic energy, but you aren't talking about senses, you're talking about feelings. And no, they aren't really related.
Now, in contrast, the lattice structure of a crystal is so tightly compacted because they were formed under intense heat and pressure that they emit a stable frequency, a stable and pure energy.
Well, let's tune in again, shall we?
You borrow my brain for 5 seconds and just be like, dude, can't handle it. Unplug this. Yeah, because it fires in a way that is, I don't know, maybe not from this particular terrestrial realm.
How very stable!
At the same time, crystals are made of different things. Different crystals have different atomic particles within them. They have different elements within them. That's what makes them look different, and that's why they emit a different frequency. So for example, this crystal is going to emit a frequency that is much different than this crystal. And so they can be used to heal different things or be used in different ways.
And yet for some reason, they don't use them in any kind of serious medical establishment. But stick, no, the only argument that is ever bandied about is, but the money, etc, etc. And you know what? You're right. Money is important. And if this crap actually worked, someone, somewhere, would corner the market and make a killing off of it. Hell, they do that with crap like diamonds and gold, and that stuff has little to no intrinsic value, yet both get sold for bundles. Imagine if they actually did something other than being shiny. My god, the medical industrial complex, TM, would be all over that stuff. But it doesn't, so they don't. But some people have cornered a mini market on it, and they are doing pretty well selling them to the dumbs.
So because the natural order of all things is well-being, it's prosperity, it's growth. So when we are out of alignment, when we are out of balance, we are naturally going to be drawn to heal ourselves, much like a plant will shift towards the light to grow.
Who? Everyone has self-destructive character flaws of some description, and it often takes a lot of work to fight against them. Either you only know the purest beings of light, or more likely, a bunch of people massively in denial about all the crap that they do that they really shouldn't. You've got to understand, I know I drink too much. Therefore, my drinking too much is fine.
You're going to be drawn to a crystal that has the vibration of the thing that will bring you most into alignment with your well-being.
Wait, does that mean that whiskey is a crystal? Mind blown.
If you are out of alignment and you share the space or you hold a crystal, the energy field of the crystal or the vibration that it is emitting is going to come into contact with your own.
My what?
Your own.
Say again?
Your own.
With my M? Do you mean my electromagnetic field? Or do you mean my you? Because I don't have a you. Or at least I don't want it.
And because of the law of attraction, your energy, your lower vibration, cannot share the same space as the crystal's energy. It would be like non-resonance sound. Vibrations that can't go together.
I don't think non-resonant is a word, but resonant means sounds that echo or reverberate, so I don't think you know how to word here. What I think you mean is sound cancelling each other out, but again it doesn't fit your definition as noise cancellation is described thusly. A sound wave with the same amplitude but with inverted phase, also known as antiphase, to the original sound. The waves combine to form a new wave, in a process called interference, and effectively cancel each other out. And if that's still not what you mean, well, I have no idea, but I need to stop trying to make an argument for you, because if you aren't going to do your research, neither am I.
So instead, your energy has to raise to meet the energy of the crystal. This is essentially how crystal healing works. This is the basic nitty-gritty theory of crystal healing.
Now, you use the word theory, but you don't mean scientific theory, do you? Just a guess, putting it out there, that is layman guess theory, not pretty much fact theory. I could be wrong, but I'm not.
Teal Swan describes this absolutely beautifully, so if you'd like to know more about this process, click the link down in the description and check out her video.
Oh my god, she's a spirit science knockoff. Nope, 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 nope,
So crystals also demonstrate the piezoelectric effect, and what this is basically when a crystal is compressed or distorted. It allows for the transformation of mechanical energy, which is that pressure, to be conducted into electromagnetic energy, which is a frequency.
Yes, when you hit it, it makes a spark. Much like when I hit myself in the face, everything goes dark. Do you find yourself wondering, how can me show humans I am the smart? Is am the way to thinking being a purchase? Well, to answer your incredibly poorly worded questions, yes, I think. Honestly, I have no idea what you want, but I'll be damned if I don't take this as an opportunity to sell you things. Like new improved Sick brand merch, now featuring the designer of almost all Sick brand merch. Right, the name's on the tip of my tongue. I want to say Cheryl Pringle? No, wait, it's Mrs. Sick. That's right, I always forget she exists. Also, handsome, famous, and good at the sex tease. Ampersand, not forgetting this pretty badass comic book style one that I would buy myself if I wasn't so poor. Sick brand merch, because we're tired of eating stray cats. Oh, there's one now. Get it!